Hello and welcome back to the FISHCAST. It's been a little while since our last episode, but we are back from doing life stuff, ready to give you the fish scoop. My name is Ray.
My name's Christian. I almost forgot we had a podcast.
We have a podcast. I think this is our longest hiatus. This is even longer than our mid-between season hiatus. We just kind of forgot that we had a podcast. We fell off the face of the earth, but we're back. There has been a lot of big Fishmans news recently that we'll get into, but before that, Chris, do you want to tell the listeners what you're currently wearing on your chest?
Currently, well, I mean, it's not just my chest.
Your back, your arms.
I'm wearing a t-shirt, and that t-shirt is Fishman's merch. It is the coveted I'm Fish shirt.
I have the
dark gray one. A coworker got it for me from some third-party service in Japan that sends, Japanese merch, domestic merch over to the United States. He knew I liked Fishmans, and he got me this shirt.
It's kind of incredible.
Kind of.
Famously worn by members of the band.
On this concert.
And then below the speech bubble reading I'm Fish, can you tell us what it says?
Fishing is much more than fish. It is the great occasion. It's hard to read. It's a little dark in here. It is the great occasion when we may return to the fine simplicity of our forefathers.
Returning to the fine simplicity of our forefathers sounds a little like a little Return to Monkey kind of vibes from Fishmans there.
Sounds a little Return to Sea.
A little Return to River, Return to Sea. I'm sensing some tropes, maybe some.
Also, there's also like a couple little icons here. You got a little fishing hook, and if any of you are familiar with the German krautrock band Neu, they also have something that says Neu
just the
on it.
Neu, yeah.
And also a floppy disk and some other things that I'm not going to read.
Chris, I forget the name. I'm totally blanking. What's the strain of anarchism that they want to return to Monkey?
Anarcho-primitivism.
Anarcho-primitivism. Do you think that the sentiment being kind of echoed by Fishmans on this t-shirt is an anarcho-primitivist sentiment?
I cannot speak as I'm not one, but I will say that I'm 100% certain they're just being a little cheeky.
All right. Well, if we ever interview the band, I'll walk in wearing that green and black flag.
Motegi will be like,
and Motegi will be like, yeah, that's my flag. All right. So like I said, there's been a lot of big Fishmans news recently, but really only if you live in Japan, because that is where the movie rollout is currently happening. So the Fishmans movie, or movie:"Fishmans, as Google Translate describes it, is coming out in I think just a little over a week in Japan, early July at this point. I'm not sure when this episode of our show will come out. Maybe by then the movie will have already been released in Japan.
If that's the case, tell me how it is.
If that's the case, tell us how it is. We're so excited. I still haven't seen anything about a Western release, so I'm not sure when we're gonna get it. Obviously, once it goes online on streaming in Japan, we'll get it over here. But hopefully before that, there's a bootleg or something.
Forgive me for my lack of information here,
Yes.
but my memory is telling me that a friend of mine in the Fishman's Discord server got in contact with someone in the film, and she asked them about showing the film in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and did she get a positive response?
I forget. I just remember that being a thing. I remember her getting in contact with them. But
I'm gonna make the prediction based on that and just my knowledge of movies that we will, us two, and you, the listener, if you have an internet connection, which you do because you're listening to us, you will be seeing this Fishman's film. You'll be seeing this film by October. That's my guess. That's what I'm gonna say. I think that's reasonable, right?
The latest, right?
The latest. But by the end of the year, for sure, it's gonna be somewhere. So I'm really excited. But to kind of coincide with the release of the movie, there's a lot of other merch and just Fishman's stuff that seems to be coming out of Japan right now. Their Twitter is super active. So one of these things was a reissue of Shinji Sato's poetry book, which we had heard about from our friend Jake One Shops on the show.
Which is something that I really want to get.
I think it's only in Japanese in the book, but it also comes with illustrations and photos, obviously. It's really just a lyric book of Fishman's lyrics for the band. So I don't think there's any poetry that he wrote in there that's outside of Fishman's, but still really cool that they're viewing his lyrical work as poetry and treating it as serious enough to get a book. I kind of wish more bands released lyric books and stuff like that.
We should do that.
We should, yeah, no.
Yeah, anyway.
So there's that. There's also a brand new sort of crop of I'm Fish t-shirts that just went on sale, like the one that Chris is wearing right now, different colors and stuff. These are only available if you live in Japan. So if you want to order one, you have to order one through like a third party, get it delivered somehow. And they are all out of sale or out of stock as far as I know from looking like just yesterday.
I'm sorry, but
I think there maybe was like a pink one in like an extra small size that was still available, but that's it.
As you may know, I probably could not fit an extra small size. I'm surprised this extra large fit me because Japanese people are generally of smaller frame. But
I feel like if you're a big enough Fishmans fan, any I'm Fish shirt could fit you if you put in the effort. You just gotta make it work. Contort your body.
Contort your body, yeah.
So those are really the new things that are on sale. You know, there's just like a heightened awareness, lots more tweets about people like seeing the film, positive responses, lots more screenings. So it just seems to be going on in Japan right now. I kind of wish I was there to have all the hype. But the main thing that happened recently was the release of this new-ish live album from 1996, 2nd March 1996 at Shinjuku Liquid Room. And that is what we're going to talk about today.
Wow. In case you haven't already guessed by the indication given in the title and the description, that is what we're talking about.
Wow, but not quite yet. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Before that, the weirdest little bit of news that I stumbled across. You got to be ready for this. Are you mentally prepared?
I'm ready for anything.
Okay. So I found this on the Fishmans Discord server, but there is a ramen shop in Shinsaibashi, Osaka. I believe it might be at like a train station or somewhere around there. And this is like a main street in Osaka, like a pretty bustling spot. It's not out in the middle of nowhere. And this ramen shop opened in 2017. And the name of the shop is Ikareta Noodle Fish Tons. So that's Ikareta, like Ikareta baby, noodle, and then fish tons, like a ton of fish. And this information comes from a random tweet which caught the attention of the Fishmans Discord server. According to the tweet, the shop's name is a direct reference to the band Fishmans and their song Ikareta Baby. The tweet in question stated that the background music in the store was lightly lined with deliciousness that could not be defeated by the Fishmans concept. That's obviously translated, but that seems to be just a tweet from like a person living in Japan who visited the store and was into their Fishmans theme.
Do we know if like the decor around the store was, or the shop was also?
I got more for you.
They touched my shoulder and said,
So I didn't really believe this, right? I thought like, well, like fish tons. It's a ramen shop. Like they might have fish. Like I don't know if this is really...
and also like, but to be fair, like I know Ikarete is just a word, but I mean...
I saw the logo of the store as well. It just said fish tons, not in like a Fishman's font, not in anything resembling Fishman's. So I did some more snooping, right? I found the ramen shop's Instagram, which is just at fish tons, if you want to check it out and see for yourself. And I started just translating a bunch of their posts to find like any references to Fishmans or see if they mention like we're a Fishmans themed ramen shop. But I didn't even have to do that because after scrolling down far enough, I found a post from last March in 2020, which was literally just the picture of the band from the Ikareta Baby photo shoot. So like I'm on this Instagram and every post is just a photo of like ramen or like a photo of meat or something. And all these posts were just like, hey guys, like we're closing early today, so you can't come in. But then I scroll down and there's just this photo of Fishmans, like a very famous photo. And I was like, holy shit, like they're doing this. And when you translated the caption of that one, it said that the shop was having a special menu item that day, which was March 15th, called Sado Tsukemen in commemoration of Shinji's death. They were just like, you can come in today and get our special like Sado dish. So it's a Fishman's restaurant.
I like how we get all this just from one post. And like, I imagine you're completely correct.
Not one post, Chris. There was another post.
They're still not done. You made it sound as if like that was the information.
No, we're going deeper. Another post from February of 2020 featured that picture of the band, I believe in the early 90s, in their ska outfits. You know, where they're like kind of like an overhead shot. They're all wearing their hats. They look really goofy. You know that one. Yeah. Just that picture. This time the caption had nothing to do with Fishmans. It was just another like update on the store's hours.
Okay, well, that's how you know.
That's how you know.
Yeah, they're not just commemorating like a favorite of like a.
Their guys like, hey, I gotta update the people on when we're closing. What photo should I upload to Instagram to do this? And it's just like Skamens. So it's incredible. I want to go to Fish Tons Ramen, Ikareta Noodle Fish Tons with you.
Is that the last post regarding Fishman?
That is the. Oh wait. No, not yet. There's one more.
Okay.
I scrolled down to the very end because I wanted to see like when they opened what the whole deal was. But on March 6, 2019, Fish Tons Ramen posted a message on Instagram reading, 3:15 is the day in the life of Fishman singer Shinji Sato. Our name was taken from my favorite Fishman's title.
Well.
I would be happy if a lot of Fishman's fans came in. If you come wearing an I'm Fish t-shirt, you will be happy.
Oh, well,
And
I
you have an I'm Fish
have an I'm
t-shirt.
Fish shirt. Although, to be fair, if we ever made it to Japan, I feel like it'd be a lot easier to get an I'm Fish shirt as well.
That's true.
But I already have one.
But it's so vague, like, if you come in wearing an I'm Fish shirt, you will be happy. Like, what does that mean? And also, I should say that it didn't say the word happy, it just said you will be, and then a smiley face emoji. So, like, will they give you free food? Will they just,
I'm sure it's like a translation issue where like it's
Yeah.
like some grammatical thing
Yeah.
that doesn't translate well. However, I imagine you walk right in and you are immediately greeted with a boost of serotonin.
damn. I wonder, like, they must play Fishman's in there, right?
They have to.
They have to.
What else are they gonna play? Bonobos?
Nah.
No. Well, that's great. Well, you know who's going to Japan later this year?
Who?
Probably Akira.
Oh, our friend Akira, yeah.
I don't know if we've ever mentioned them on the
I have
cast.
a really cool friend. Maybe we can tell them to go to Fish Tons
Tons.
Ramen, and then we can bring them on the show, and they can report back what they found.
That will be very important information. And maybe if they take a detour to South Korea,
Oh.
you know,
What's going on in South Korea, Chris?
the worst Korea. Well, there is a cafe/music venue by the name of Kuchu Camp.
Kuchu Camp is in Kuchu Camp?
No, another Kuchu Camp. You know, all the Kuchu camps out there. This is strange because like my limited knowledge of the Korean alphabet would read this as like Konchu Kampu?
Yeah.
Konchu?
Yeah.
I don't know. Point is, their logo is the album cover. Like it's just like their figures, you know how they're like floating in the air.
It's an iconic cover, yeah.
It's an iconic cover. It seems to be a Fishman's themed like cafe / like music venue
in South Korea.
in South Korea, and I think they serve food as well. A lot of the website, if you go to kuchucamp.net, it's just like a picture of somebody wearing a shirt with a fish on it. If you want to go onto
I
kuchucamp.net,
do want to go. Just kuchucamp.net, you say?
I think it's like kuchu-camp.net.
Kuchu-camp.net.
See if this is
Oh, it
correct.
says it's not secure. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and if you click on the picture, it'll take you to the website.
Yeah, they have shirts with the 3 Fishman's members just hanging out in the air. Yeah, it says "Are you fish?"
Yeah.
It also
is-
says "Rip Shinji Sato." Yeah.
Yeah, no, like this is a little more like clear cut.
Yeah,
like
just thing, walking in the rhythm. We dub fish.
you don't even have to go digging. This is very clearly a Fishman's thing. I follow them on Twitter,
Wow.
and I don't know why. I mean, I don't think I'll
Cafe
ever.
menu.
What do they have? This
I
should.
can't read. Oh, it translates. Well, just the alcohol. Soft drinks side. They have sliced peaches and mixed nuts as a side dish. You can get French fries and jerked beef.
Shirts.
Chorizo.
Chorizo. Oh, they have chorizo.
That's incredible. It says for their Wi-Fi. It says their Wi-Fi name is Kuchu Camp, and then in the password section, it doesn't say. You can get
You
a
have to
membership. This looks really nice. They got hot chocolate. They have citron slushies.
Yeah, and it's just like I think it's like the second floor of this building, some
Wild.
building in like Seoul. That's just so cool.
That's crazy.
At
This is
least
so
in
cool.
Japan, it makes sense. But like the fact that it's like in South Korea is pretty cool.
And there's a section for souvenirs as well. I think, yeah, they have t-shirts with like art of the band and stuff. They have Hicksville buttons you can buy. Polaris buttons. These guys are like the biggest Fishmans fans in the world.
I know, I'm kind of jealous. Can you buy those things like online?
I mean, I'm not gonna check right now. I would assume you can't, but I mean, we're gonna try after this episode.
Well,
That's
yeah.
incredible.
So I just wanted to update Ray on that. So
we need to go on a
about
double like destination trip.
We
We
need
go
to
to
go.
Fish Tons. I feel like Fish Tons is, from what I could see, like they had pictures of the inside of their place. It's just a normal shop, and there were videos on YouTube too, and like it seems like it's just their name that's inspired by Fishmans.
Yeah,
and
this
nothing
is-
more. But
this
this,
is like-
place is like,
Fishmans. You go there
Fishmans.
because you are a Fishmans fan.
yeah.
You
That's
can
so
go
cool.
to-
especially in South Korea. I mean, I guess it's close enough, but I mean, I don't really remember Fishmans playing any shows. in South Korea.
I don't know how many shows they played outside of Japan anyway.
Yeah, I just wonder if all that popularity was like recent or if that was the thing back
Could
in the
be
day.
recent, but I mean, we should open up our own Fishmans themed cafe / music venue / eatery.
Wild. Yeah, let's do it. What would you call it? Because Ikareta's already taken, Kuchu Camp is taken.
Oh,
What would you serve?
seafood restaurant.
Seafood restaurant? Yeah, okay. And your logo can just be that floating fork from the Magic Love single cover.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay. Anyway, now with that out of the way,
That's
they're
crazy.
very important. We need to go to both of these places before they inevitably close down.
Yeah, I mean, we missed going to the Akasaka Blitz before they demolished it. Like, they already did that, right?
I don't know if they demolished it, but like I know it is closed down for
Yeah.
sure, and that is a shame. We could always go to the spot in which it previously resided, and sort of mourn its building and spirit. But these places are very much active. I imagine this Fish Tons place is very busy.
Yeah, from what I could see online, it was actually like ranked as like one of the best ramen shops in Osaka, and like there were just like ramen people who were like, yeah, you gotta go to Fish Tons.
I wonder how many of them even know about.
Probably not.
I
Well,
feel
'cause
like-
I feel like there are a lot of restaurants and stuff over here that are named after like certain songs or like
Maybe,
bands.
yeah,
vaguely,
and,
and like we
like-
don't really care, you know.
But I guess this. I mean, we know Ikareta Baby is like a pretty decently big song. So I'm sure plenty of them are like, oh, I get it. It's that one song. Or that
One
band.
song, yeah. Huh.
Maybe if they're old enough, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know about this Kuchu Camp Cafe. I don't know how they're doing business wise.
Maybe in like the third season of the Fishcast, we'll just become like a culinary podcast. We can just review the food at these places. Yeah.
Just these two places, unless we find more. Which
Oh,
would be
God.
great. Yeah.
Wild. So I just thought that was some crazy news, and I didn't know how many people are even like aware of this, but I thought it was wild. In even more unexpected news, or maybe not, we have an additional person, a musician, in fact, a very famous musician, joining the Fishmans extended universe, extended family. Do you remember?
I forget actually who is it.
It's Tyler, the Creator.
Oh my God! This blew my mind, and I blew my mind so much I had to tell my coworkers about it. Well, I mean, the one person that bought me this shirt. It's not a direct Fishman's connection, but it's
like
close
a
enough.
1 degree of separation, Fishman's Connection. So it's probably the sample that we've talked about the most on the show, but that Jimmy Smith sample in the Hachigatsu version of Just Thing, that was also sampled famously by Eric Andre or Blarf in his like Plunderphonics weird
I forget what the name of the album
It was
was.
called
Cease
like,
and Desist. Yeah.
Cease and Desist, yeah. But and we were always trying to figure out for the longest time on the show whether Eric Andre was sampling Fishmans directly or if they were both sampling someone else. And we're pretty sure they're both just
They're both sampling
Jimmy
someone else,
Smith,
but
yeah.
now it's not just both. It is 3 people, very different from each other, sampling the same song that I've never heard of before. It's a cover of a Barry White song
Yeah.
that I've never heard of, and I've never heard of Jimmy Smith.
Fucking
So
wild.
why they're all 3 covers?
Well, no, so
continue.
I was listening to this new Tyler album the day it came out, just driving around, and it got to this point, and like this sample is lodged in my brain because I listen to Hachigatsu so much, and I hear it with Dama Genesis like rapping over it, and it just comes in.
That's Genesis?
right.
I don't know. I was just asking. I didn't realize.
Dama Genesis, the guy from Odd Future, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, but he's rapping over it, and I'm just like, holy shit, oh my god. So I'm just on a road driving. I pull off the road. I go to a parking lot and I park, and I text Chris. I just
They
say,
do text
I just
me.
say he sampled it.
And to be fair, I did not really. They just sent me the song and said they sampled it, or he sampled it, and I was like,
Chris is
What?
like, what? And I'm like, listen to it.
and I was like, okay, maybe it's like a reference to like a funny video or movie we've seen, or maybe
No.
another artist. No. And I was like, well, I just got to be paying close attention for the sample. I didn't need to be paying close attention because it just comes right in. It's like the main sample in the song. Like
Yeah.
It is
Oh,
the
it
beat.
goes on for like most of the song. So the
Yeah.
song is called Manifesto. I don't think I said that on the new Tyler the Creator album.
Good
Call
song.
Me If You Get Lost. Really good song. But here's my theory, right? So, like Tyler got this sample from the Eric Andre album because like Tyler has been on Eric Andre's show. They seem to know each other. They run in those same like Adult Swim kind of circles. They probably like Tyler probably listened to that Blarf thing and he was like, "This is a cool sample." And that's how the Blarf album begins. That's like the very first
Yeah.
thing you hear. So I think that's like the most prominent sample on that album. So Tyler didn't get it from Fishmans, but I feel like there's still a chance that like Eric Andre got it from Fishmans, and not from. You know what I mean?
That's what makes it weird. If it was like any other song, maybe not any other song, but there's plenty of songs that all 3 of these artists could have sampled that would we wouldn't be losing our minds over, because okay, they could all find those independently.
Yeah.
But it's figuring out whether or not Eric Andre and or Tyler the Creator are aware of that Fishman sample.
Yeah.
And Eric Andre is more likely, but it's just wondering, how did all three of these very prominent artists sample the same kind of obscure song?
And all sample it in the exact same way.
Yeah, they
Just
don't
the
sample
same
anything
vocal
else.
loop and just over and over again.
Yeah.
That's what's so odd to me. Yeah.
And I guess that is like the most distinctive part of the song. I don't know if you've listened to the whole song.
No, I
but,
have,
like,
yeah.
And apparently, my coworker who bought me this shirt, who I told all about this, he said that the song was also sampled by 2 other artists, and I'll have to check to see which ones. But if there are any artists that I know, and like 5 artists that I listen to sample this one song, then clearly.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, now we can do a Fuck, Marry, Kill with Fishmans, Tyler the Creator, and Eric Andre.
Okay, I am gonna. I'm gonna marry Fishman.
This is a Fishmans podcast. That's very reasonable.
It wasn't just why. I would say that in any other circumstance. I will copulate with
Tyler,
the
right?
Creator.
Yeah,
and
Tyler.
I'll kill Eric
yeah.
Andre. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, no,
I'm
I mean
sorry.
Eric's a funny guy.
If you're listening to me, Eric Andre, then I'm sorry.
Tyler, yeah.
I wouldn't
no.
actually kill you.
Kind of hot. All right. So that was just really cool. Really great sample. It lends that track like a nice like psychedelic.
Okay, this isn't the Tyler
dreamy
the
vibe.
Creator.
All right. Anyway, really good album. Tyler Creator is great.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard.
All
it's
right,
pretty
so let's get into this new Fishman's live album, 2nd March 1996 at Shinjuku Liquid Room.
good. Well, it's not new.
It's not new. We said this on our last episode, but this was previously released in 2005 as like a video/DVD concert, which I have watched before. Really well shot, really fun, but it was just never released as like a physical album or like a CD until now. So it is available to buy on disc. I don't know if it's on vinyl. It's certainly on CD if you live in Japan, so you might be able to get a copy of that over here. It's not on streaming services though, not on Apple Music or Spotify. There are 3 singles from it.
3 singles and
that released, but
none of them are. They're all really good.
They're
I
all
was gonna
really
say something.
good.
I was gonna say like some crap.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like the release of the singles is puzzling because do they
Why
have
would-
plans to release the whole album? Like, why would they release the singles?
That's what's weird, and I think
especially
that's,
to Western audiences if we can't order the CD.
that's why I think it's. That's why I was kind of upset, because they released the singles before the release of the album. So I was like, okay, well, it's gonna be on streaming once the album comes
Yeah,
out.
and it wasn't.
And it wasn't. So why did we get the singles?
I don't know. Maybe they'll just release it later. Like the digital release doesn't coincide with the physical release. I
Maybe,
don't know.
and that's possible, but we'll see how long that lasts.
Anyway, but I was hype from when these singles came out on Spotify because I've only watched like the DVD video version of this concert once, like last year during COVID when I was just really bored. And you know, in contrast, I knew there would be new mastering for this new release.
I don't
from
know how drastic it would be.
Zach, but I mean, the stuff on Spotify sounded crisp. I was excited. I was listening to it on better headphones too, so that might account for it. But that's why I was kind of really hyped to hear this in just like an album format, and then unpaired from the visuals, of course, because like watching something, it's always going to be engaging, but just listening to it,
I will admit,
maybe
I
not.
will be real with you, as they say. I was only able. I'm sure it's on the Mega. Is it on the Mega?
It's on the Mega.
So I didn't listen to it on the Mega. I listened to it on YouTube.
Okay, did Fishmans upload it or somebody else?
No, this was uploaded 3 years ago. It's
Oh, you mean as the
So I
video.
have not listened to the new master.
Okay,
I can
okay.
imagine it sounds cleaner, but I can't imagine this. Like, I don't know how, if Zach did anything else other than make it sound better. So
From what I gathered from my memory, like the bass might have been a little higher and like the drums went like hard, but I don't know, because I feel like maybe in the video there was like some slight like live sounds, but I don't really know.
that's
I'd have
the
to
thing.
go back and
So
check.
if you're coming to this episode expecting like a comparison between the original and this new master, I don't
We
have
don't
any
know,
for you,
yeah.
because I listened to the old version.
And I listened to the new version.
And Ray, I mean, even if I had listened to the new version, I would have to listen to them both like back to back. And
And also,
neither of us
we've
have done
talked slightly between us about our thoughts, and it seems like we kind of agree about how we feel. So
But we need
the
to
master
delve
didn't,
really into
you
it,
know.
yeah.
But either way, if you are an audiophile type person,
it. Let us know what the difference is.
let us know what the difference is. I mean, it's definitely positive. I saw some people on Rate Your Music really complimenting the remaster. Somebody said this is the greatest like live remaster of the 21st century.
Which
I was just
guess
like,
is
okay,
I
I
guess
guess.
is a claim. Like, okay, I'll let you have it. Like, I don't listen to much remasters.
Yeah, I don't even
Like,
know how to judge that.
Yeah.
Anyway, how do you feel about the album cover? Weirdly enough, the video that you're mentioning on YouTube of the live concert was uploaded 3 years ago by just some YouTube user who I think is also active on Radio Music, and they chose that same shot of Shinji doing the L as the thumbnail of the video way back when, and now that shot of Shinji is the cover of the album.
Oh, that's right.
So I wonder if that was just a circumstance, like a random thing, or if like Fishmans saw that thumbnail on YouTube and they thought, hey, let's make that our album cover.
And also they decided not to take the video down. Also because they are not the label. But I think that's fine. You have to wonder, was that always the thumbnail though, or did they just change it?
No, that was always the thumbnail.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, well then, never mind. Yeah, so that's interesting. That'd be funny if like that picture was thought of to be the thumbnail and the album cover like independently.
Maybe, yeah. Well, because it's probably like the most memorable shot from that whole
Yeah,
thing.
but there's also, I guess, yeah, because it's like Shinji at the forefront.
Yeah, it's incredible.
There's a lot of good shots in the video. So I know we're not talking about the video, but the video is really good.
I love this cover, Chris.
It's so good.
Shinji, he's giving you the L.
And
You're
I will
taking the
gladly
L.
take this L. This is the only L I'll ever take.
Shinji is wearing his Ushanka hat, I believe, is what it is called, that Russian
Something like
hat.
that. Yeah. Something like, it's some type of Usha.
I like the color scheme, too.
Like the yellow?
That yellow, it's unique because no other Fishman's album cover really has like that color scheme. So it
Yeah.
kind of stands out cover-wise. I like the font, too. It's a goofy looking
Correct
font.
me if I'm wrong. Well, you don't have to correct me because I'll just look at it now. Does it kind of have the same like texturing pattern as Uchu Nippon Setagaya?
Oh, you know what?
Like the dots.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
kind of a little bit.
It's a little slight.
It's a little slight, but no, I really like the cover.
It's a very good cover, and the Fishman's font, like
Yeah,
right,
like it might be one of my favorite Fishman's covers.
I wonder if because we're talking about the thumbnail.
Yeah.
I wonder if they saw the thumbnail and they literally just screenshotted the thumbnail and like that was the cover. I don't know if they even used it.
It's too high quality.
I don't know because
Maybe.
they put that like
Put
filter
that grain
top.
on there. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway,
Anyway, I love the cover.
so beautiful.
It's great. So all of this just meant that I was really excited to listen to this album. And I think too, like my question going into the album was like, I don't necessarily think that live albums are like essential experiences. And up to this point, every Fishman's live album occupied like a different lane in my brain. Like Oh Mountain was like the dubby, like electric live album, and 96 Long Season was like the super energetic, like rock and funky live album. Hachigatsu was like the chilled out, spacey live album, and then 98 obviously is like the grandiose, like sad, operatic live album. So I was like, where is this gonna slot in? Like, my question was like, is this live album gonna define itself? Like, is it gonna have a unique identity that makes me come back to it, or will I just be like, that was a cool 2 hours of Fishman's?
Well, maybe this will make a lot of sense. I think it occupies the same space as 96 Long Season. Guess
Yes.
what? I wonder why. Could it be they performed in the same year?
Yes, we agree, Chris.
Except this does not feature a certain track.
Long Season, which is, we'll talk about that, but I feel like it's
Yeah.
both good and bad. I mean, I guess we can talk about it right now.
I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, but I don't think it's a bad
This
thing.
is the
either.
longest Fishman's live album in terms of track listing.
True.
Because there's 18 tracks, I believe, and it really shows you like the absence of Long Season in a live set kind of enables the band to play a lot more and a lot
Well,
like
obviously,
a
because they have
wider
an extra
range of
40
things.
minutes.
Yeah. So did you enjoy that?
Yeah. Oh, never throughout listening to the live album did I think, wow, this is missing Long Season.
Yeah,
'Cause I
me
feel like
neither.
all of the songs like are still really good.
And the energy is totally different than Long Season.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I think it's mostly just the fact that like Long Season already exists in other live forms anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not like a huge loss. It's just sort of like, well, I mean, they're not always going to perform Long Season, which is kind of sad. They should have always performed it, but I don't know. I think I think it was helped by the fact that there were songs that I've never heard live before being played on this album.
Yeah, that's true. It has
So
some like
there's-
really deep cuts.
Yeah.
All right, so there are 18 tracks, and a lot of these tracks are songs where we've already talked about, like the studio version and probably even one live version. So we're not going to do a track by track of this thing. It's just we don't have anything interesting to say about these songs at this point. Like Live Thank You, they kind of just play that
You keep
song.
bringing that up. They even told me, like, yeah, we're not going to talk about live Thank You. Like, they keep ragging on Thank
What
You.
are we going to say about Live Thank You?
This was a good performance of Thank You.
It was a good performance of Thank You. So what we're
True.
going to do instead is, out of the 18 tracks, we
Give our
each
top 5.
independently selected our 5 favorite tracks or the 5 tracks.
These are
that we found most
independent, by the
interesting.
way.
I feel like there might be some overlap just
There's a
because
huge
like
overlap.
there are some bangers on this album that are like universal bangers.
Universal bangers, like from Universal Music Group.
So instead, we're just going to each go down our top 5 and hopefully get some coverage
Can
of the
I
album
just
that way.
say
Yes.
that it is... This isn't part of my top 5, but Shinji frantically thanking Polydor over and over again in the middle of the album was like the best thing ever.
This live album definitely does have the most just unedited like banter with the
And
audience.
that's what I wanted to
out of
bring
any
up.
Fishmans
Like
live
literally,
album, yeah.
this is so fun to like watch and listen to Shinji just like screaming. Everybody, it like they're having the most fun I've ever seen them have on stage.
Oh yeah, yeah. The video is incredible. Like if you can watch the video, I really recommend it. Like it has a very different energy from '98. '98 feels so solemn. Like they're
Yeah.
kicking ass up there, but they're kind of just standing and they like barely talk to the audience. And when they do, it's sad.
Yeah.
But here, like yeah, Shinji's
She's
just,
like yelling at the and like someone asks him a question and
Yeah.
you're like, I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of it like Yoroshiku.
Liquid Room 2, I think, is like a slightly smaller venue than the
Oh,
Blitz.
yeah,
So like
so-
even the way it's filmed just feels like everybody's in like a little auditorium together, just like
Yeah.
vibing.
You said that when you first listened to it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, something about an auditorium. I guess this is in your top 5, so we can mention
You
it
can
then.
start first, yeah.
I was just gonna say how he introduces some of the tracks, including Wasura Chauhi Totoki.
Oh yeah.
Like, he just like yells them and you can barely understand what he's saying. Okay, I guess I am starting.
What is your
We
number
are-
5?
So I had to think about this one for a second. When I was on the couch finishing up this album, I was like, what would be my 5th song? So I decided this isn't concrete. I may change my mind, but for today, my number 5 is Kansha Odoroki.
Nice, nice.
This is a very like I don't know if it quite beats the studio version for me, but it is very fun. It is very
Fun song.
energetic. It's just a fun song anyway.
And Chris
So,
is a noted Kansha Odoroki appreciator.
That's true. So I've heard it live before, but like it was on Oh Mountain. Was there another live performance of it on the
I
main
don't-
live albums? I don't
I
remember.
don't think so.
There
Yeah, I
was
think
not,
it's just
no.
that in here. Yeah.
So yeah, the Oh Mountain version I was kind of, not let down, but it was a little underwhelming compared to
Yeah,
the studio. I
yeah.
think this one almost matched the energy of the
Yeah.
studio version. I really appreciate it.
That is a cool thing about this '96 set is that Long Season came out in late '96, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Long Season wasn't even out at this point. So they were just hot off the release or around the release of Kuchu Camp at this point. So you get a lot of Orange tracks in this set list.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was really cool for me is just, Orange kind of maybe gets a little forgotten about later on in some of these live albums.
Yeah.
But
like
here
this-
there's like it's like not the newest album at that point, but they were still like, they had that stuff in the rotation.
like Kibun and Wasura
Like
Chauhi
Kibun
Totoki.
and Wasura and Kansha Odoroki.
And Kansha Odoroki. Yeah.
So,
So,
yeah,
that's
really cool.
I mean, I really like Orange, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not raving about it all day, but it's great to see it get some representation. Yeah. Number 5, buddy.
My number 5 is their performance of Slow Days.
Well, you're going to talk about it.
You
before
have
me.
this later on. So
Yeah.
weirdly enough, I think Slow Days, just as a general track, studio track and live track, is growing on me a lot after our music video episode, where we broke down that really psychedelic, like Sisyphean Nightmare Fuel video,
Oh, yeah.
like where they're playing at like 3 a.m. and they're all sweaty. That was a wild video. So I think like something about that video just like awakened an appreciation for this track in my brain. And this performance doesn't really like reinvent the track too much. It's a little longer than the studio version, and there's some crazier
feels-
guitar stuff at the
yeah.
end. But overall, it's like sounds totally close to the studio version. Like the energy's just like enhanced.
Because it's live.
They're playing it so good. I feel like it might work a little bit better in this funky context on this album, where everything is kind of like funk rock, as opposed to Kuchu Camp, where it feels like a bit of a black sheep.
Yeah.
It just makes more. Slow Days makes more sense in this album.
For some reason. And because they don't really change it much, but I guess just the frame in which it's presented.
Yeah.
Is it really
It just
amplifies
fits
the
it more.
experience.
Yeah. So yeah, the noisy guitar stuff in the outro of this track is insane.
I think that's what I heard that and I was like, okay.
It's like the closest to like noise rock that Fishmans have gotten. I think like the guitar is just like screeching.
Yeah.
Do you remember? It's like it's insane.
I saw my man Darts, strumming the strings closer to the nut, just sort of.
The nut.
It's the part of the guitar. Like, you know how there's the headstock and there's like the nut. That's where the string is like he's just like kind of strumming up there. Yeah. Okay. You don't have to call it that if you don't.
Anyway, it's like Fishmans Go LRD, and it's great.
Just shut up. This man.
The two Japanese bands.
This dude's heard like maybe one LRD song. So anytime they hear like any noise in a song, like wow, it's just like LRD.
Anyway, Slow Days. It was
Anyway, no, it's
incredible.
incredible
It shocked
song.
me by how much I like the Slow Days.
Me too.
Great. I want to hear Fishmans play Slow Days live.
Yeah.
I never will.
True. Well, you can. Yeah. Number 4, huh? Right? Am I going?
Yeah,
my
number 4.
Okay.
What you got?
Sunny Blue.
Sunny Blue.
This is it's closer to the Hicksville version, isn't it? That and like the Hachigatsu.
The 90. And that's the 96 version of 96
that's
long
what I'm
season
thinking. That's
version
what
of
I'm
Sunny
thinking
Blue
of.
is essentially very similar to this.
Wow. Again, wonder why.
I wonder why. 1996 be like rock music.
Yeah. Long season rock music. This is, well, it's just like the 96 version in that it kicks a lot of ass. It is super cool. The violin playing that like melody. Oh my god. It's just, it feels so good. Oh god, I really want, I felt like a leather jacket had materialized onto my body and I was about to like beat some goons up and speed off into the night.
Oh, the video too really enhances this one. Like they're going
off. I was around this part of the live album. I'm sort of like restructuring my room right now, and I was putting an entertainment system in. You know the deal. And like this song was playing, and I just got this like sudden like bout of energy, and I was like, yeah,
burst of testosterone.
yeah, you know, I was just like, you know, lifting things, being like, wow, this song is awesome.
It's awesome. It's incredible.
So yeah, perfect song, great,
Wow.
cool.
My number 4 is O Slime.
Oh, why you got to do a slime like that?
This might be the best O Slime. But if it's tied with anything for me, it's tied with the 1996 long season O Slime, which is very similarly like hard, but in just a different way.
Yeah.
This one's very, very funky. It's probably like the most pure like jam bandy O Slime in the sense that like Shinji still calls out every member like he normally does, but they all really take like an extended solo, it feels like, where it's just like people like showing off. It's wild. And just like the riffs are really cool. They start in the beginning and they come back in the end, and it all feels like a really tight circle. This is where like the mastering felt a little different for me. Maybe just because it was the first track on the album from the video. Is when I listened to this on headphones, like on the Mega, the actual file, I was just like, holy shit! Like this isn't your daddy's Fishmans. This is a sexy Fishmans.
I know my dad listened to Fishmans. Yeah. I agree.
It makes 98 O Slime look like some like boring shit. But like I love that. But it goes hard. The violin part.
Violin part's really cool.
The violin part's really cool.
That's what I mean. Like I feel like it's one of those classic Fishman's cases where I don't want to pit this up against like the 98 version of O Slime because they do two completely different things and they perfect both of those things separately. So while I do think this is probably the best O Slime, it is not the best.
This O Slime would be the most fun to see live, I think.
Yeah, Shinji's going off.
And just seeing all the members like solo and
they're having so much fun. There's like, you know, of course there's like the echo put on like Shinji's voice, so he's just like yelling.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know, a little bit of dub, you know, okay, just to throw in a little bit of that dub spice.
So good. It's an eruption of color and beats. I love it.
It's so good.
What's your number 3?
Slime.
Slime. There we go. Okay.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it. It's perfect. It's one of the best ways to open a concert. Any version of O Slime deserves to be.
They're all great.
They're all great.
Even O Crime on O Mountain fucking slaps.
Yeah, but you know.
All right. I guess I'll go to my number 3 then. Yeah. My number 3 is Atarashi Hito.
What?
Closing track on this album. Okay. I am a noted Atarashi Hito appreciator.
Me too.
And this one, you know, as far as live versions go, the only other one that we have to compare it with isn't really a live version, but it's the one on Hachigatsu, that slowcore version. And this one is a much more straightforward take on the studio track. But still, I feel like it's slightly more dubby than the one on Kuchu Camp because there's delay on everything. Yeah,
the drums have that classic like scratch Perry like dub echo sound. Like they got that like squelch to them.
Yeah, so it doesn't like the one on Kuchu feels very strange. This one feels a bit more just like traditional, but I don't know, it's more fun. It feels more optimistic.
It takes the mystery out of the original Atarashi Hito, and like brings in a little more like a calming atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a really cool closer
Yeah.
to the. In lieu of like playing long season,
Yeah,
I would want to hear this.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I don't know if I prefer it to the studio version. I think
They're
I still
very different.
They're very different. Although
If I didn't want to feel like shit, I might listen to this one.
that's what I mean. If I wanted the same musicality, but I wanted to feel good,
Yeah.
but I still feel good when I listen to the. I don't know. It's just an awesome way to close out the concert.
Yeah, it feels like fuller and more colorful than the studio one. In a weird way, I don't know. Like, that's so odd to me because that studio track was one where I wouldn't even really know how they would pull it off live, but like, it works.
Instead of it feeling like I'm on the like edge of sanity, like totally tripped and blissed out in the middle of like a parking lot, I feel like I'm in that exact same state of mind, but in like a really nice couch. That's the difference. Like they both kind of like evoke the same imagery, but they're both, they're very different. Yeah, great track.
All right. What is your number 2? Yeah.
Yeah, Slow Days.
Slow Days.
Slow Days.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to say. I felt like we were gonna run into this problem where one of us we're gonna like name a track, talk about it a bunch, and then our top 5s are very similar, just in different orders. So now when the next person goes and like that song is later on in their list, I don't have anything to say about Slow Days.
Yeah,
and I also don't have anything to say about my number 1 track because I just
Atarashi Hito.
Yeah, that's
we
what I
go.
mean. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 is Sunny Blue, which we already talked about. We only have 1 track difference between our lists. We're the same person.
And I already know what it is.
It's Sunny Blue, yes.
Wait,
and
your number 1?
No, my number 2 is Sunny Blue.
Okay, that's what I mean.
Okay,
I
let's
know
talk
your
about
number
that.
1, but let's talk about.
So, the only thing I didn't say was like, I like the placement of it in this track list. It's like right near the middle.
Yeah.
And I've got to bring up my boys, Gorillaz, again.
Well,
There's a common theme. It's not in every Gorillaz album, but like in a lot of them, they have like a really noisy track near the middle. And there was some interview with Damon Albarn where he said like, I believe every album needs to have like a punk song in the middle or like something like just
what
an
is it
energy.
in Demon Days then?
It's White Light, but it's like near the end.
I was gonna say because
Yeah, it doesn't always end up like right in the middle, but like they'll have like one really energetic cut, and that extends to like Blur albums, like Bank Holiday off Park Life. But that Sunny Blue kind of functions this way here. Like everything is really high octane, but Sunny Blue is like right in the middle. Like they could have opened with this. It just feels like a great like energy reset, and I don't know. Like I don't really listen to a lot of like loud rock music or like guitar music.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I connect with this version of Sunny Blue so much, but I think it's just the placement. Like something about it just hitting in the middle of a Fishman set.
Also, I
Kinda
feel
makes
like
it unexpected.
I feel like you're more open to that style of music when it's a band you like doing it.
Yup. All right. And then my number 1 is Wasure Chow Hito Toki.
A good song.
Really-
Very good. Really good song.
Really cool
Not
to see
take
it
anything
here.
away from you.
It's one of those orange cuts that like I had never heard live before hearing it here because
Yeah.
it's not on any other Fishman's live album. Even though it's like a quite popular song nowadays on Spotify and like one of my personal favorite Fishman's tracks.
Well, to be fair, they weren't taking that to account.
I
in, like,
know. I'm
mid-
just saying, like, out of all the Fishman songs that don't have like a live version on one of the main albums,
yeah.
like this is one that like the people need. The people need a live Wasure Chow. And some of the more like produced aspects from Orange are gone, like that zany synth that plays throughout has been replaced by guitar, so it's a little different. But it's so groovy. The vocals here, I think this is Shinji's best vocal performance on the track, and he's also just yelling near the very end. Like he's crazy. The song ends with him saying, "Wasure Chow Hito Toki, woo, darts, thank you."
I do remember it. Yeah. Great moment. And one of many moments on this album where Shinji just says somebody's name or just yells.
Woo, darts, thank you.
Dart's just like, you're welcome.
Darts kicked ass. But it's just so cool. It's like I feel like it's a little more psychedelic than the album version, and it really goes for it a little longer. Like I don't know, it made me feel good, and I didn't expect it, and it felt the freshest on this album. It felt like it epitomized the energy of this album.
Yeah, and I remember, I know I had seen the song on the track list, but even when it came up, like when he said the name and they started playing it, I was like, wait a second.
Like, oh yeah, that's a Fishman song that they could play live.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't realize they could do that. Is that legal?
Yeah.
It is.
So before we're done with this, let me briefly look at this track list again, because there are 18 songs and we only talked
Can I
about
just say, what was the track?
7 of them. I want to make sure we're not forgetting anything. What was what track, Chris?
I remember like someone else other than Shinji was singing for. I think it was Motogi was like singing.
Oh, I don't remember.
Maybe I misremembered, but I could have swore there was somebody else doing vocals. But
Really good Smiling Days. I don't care for Live Doyobi no Yoru, but like it was good.
This one was a little. I was like,
Really good Zutomai. Baby Blue, Live Baby Blue is always fun to see. That's another one I feel like we don't get enough live versions
and
of it later
this
on.
version is really good.
Really, that's one of the ones that's on Spotify. And Go Go Around This World is really fun. Ikaretsu Baby. Like, the cool thing about having a set list this long is, like, I feel like you don't really miss out on anything. Like, they have all their hit tracks. There's no Non-Titano, which is interesting. Is there any Kingmaster aside from Doyobi?
No?
I think that's it, huh?
That's strange, because you would think if they're playing Doyobi, they'd play.
But I feel like you get most of the hit songs, and you get some deeper cuts, like with Surrey Chow, and like some weird things. But Night Cruising, there's a really good Night Cruising, obviously. Oasis.
Oasis, I was originally going to put that in my top 5. It's a very good version of Oasis. I love replacing those like synth horns with, or I guess they're not real. Shinji, or they're synth horns, but Hanzi playing the melody on violin.
And a weird callback to Chappie Don't Cry, but I kind of love the version of Chance on this album.
No, this
it goes
version,
hard. Like it's my favorite version of Chance.
I don't think it holds a candle to the original, but it is awesome to see Shinji in his little cornet. Playing.
It slaps.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the greatest assortment of songs. Like out of all the set lists on any of these albums, like I would not be complaining if I went to a Fishmans show and they played all this. Even if they didn't play Long Season, but I got like 18 tracks live, I would be so happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where it's like, Yeah.
I wonder when you'd realize on the show
things.
that they're not going to play Long Season. Like, you keep waiting to hear it, and then, like, you realize that they've played, like, maybe one too many tracks to still fit it in, and they just keep playing tracks, and with each new track, you're like, woo, that track, but inside, you're like, oh.
Yeah,
we're probably not getting it.
To be fair, wasn't this before the release of Long Season?
This was, yeah, I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, like, wait a second. I guess I
Did
never
they play
considered
Long
that.
Season at every show after Long Season came out? There must have been shows when they didn't play Long Season.
That would have been disappointing. This at least makes sense.
Yeah.
But that would be really disappointing because he'd be like, well, I really like Fishmans, but like I have to go.
It'd be funny if they like
Long Season.
opened their show with Long Season and then just played like
Everyone would
5 or
leave.
6 funk songs.
Everyone would just be like, because it's like we talk. I don't know if we talked about this when we talked about '98, but it's like after you play Long Season, I can't listen to any more music. It's like if they were to play that first, I'd be like, I don't want to hear this.
Do you think 98 would be a worse album if Long Season was the first song? Or it goes like Oh Slime, Long Season, and then the rest of the track list is normal and it ends with Yurimeki?
It would be worse.
Or I guess not Yurimeki, Ikaretsu.
It would be worse.
Be worse, yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, all the songs would be like the same quality, but it would feel so.
It would feel so wrong.
off. Like it would still be a really good album, but like it would not hold the same weight. I don't think.
But yeah.
Sequencing is very important.
But it is interesting. Out of the live albums that we have, there's the ones that don't have Long Season, and they're just like fun live albums, and then there's the 2 with Long Season, and they feel like.
And this is like in between because I think it's really good without Long Season.
Yeah. So overall thoughts on this album for me. As much as I enjoyed it, and I really do enjoy it, like for one, I think it's better if you watch the video, just because like the video is fun to watch. I like it. It's on YouTube. You watch it.
If you want to see Shinji at his most unhinged.
I don't think this album has its own unique identity. Like, I'm glad that it exists in the sense that like they played so many songs, and we can hear live versions of songs where we like couldn't easily find them otherwise. But like, I really do agree with you, Chris, that. Since this is from 1996 and so is 96 Long Season, like a lot of the renditions of songs like Sunny Blue are like essentially the same on both albums, and they're playing like the same tracks. So it's really like I can't differentiate between the 2 albums.
I do think 96 Long Season is better.
Oh yeah, I think this one's better, but like it's apples and oranges. Or
yeah.
Not, or what's the opposite? No, because that's when 2 things are different. It's like they're so similar it doesn't really matter.
Apples and apples.
Apples and apples.
Apples and pears. I hate to be that guy because like it seems like we're talking a lot about this album like in the shadow of Long Season, but it is true like because they play Long Season at 96 Long Season that automatically
it's
amplifies
elevated.
it.
Yeah,
and like I hate being like wow they didn't play Long Season at the show when they couldn't have, they hadn't released it, but it's just still like we still talk about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like this one doesn't have its own lane. It's cool that they released it. Like, I would love it if Fishmans could just release a remaster of like every live set they did, just for the sake of like having a variety of songs to listen
This
to.
is a good concert for them to. I think this is a great re-release.
Yeah,
for
but
them.
I guess what I'm saying is like with this one, I'm not really so sad that it's not on Spotify, because I think in the future, like I'll probably just seek out these 5 tracks that I mentioned as songs that I want to listen to. I'm never gonna sit down and listen to this whole album again unless I'm like watching the video with someone.
That is true. This is not like kind of like Oh Mountain, where
Yeah.
the whole listening to the whole album is fine. It's a really good album. It's like near perfect.
Yeah.
But I don't ever think like, wow, I can't wait to do a listen
Yeah,
through of
yeah,
Oh Mountain.
yeah.
There's a lot of great tracks on this. I don't know if I ever.
Yeah. If anything, a lot of their performances are so good in being like so close to the studio versions that like I'm just gonna listen to the studio version. Like, you know what I mean? They're not doing a lot different here.
Thanks, Spotify.
Except for Slow Days, that shit's better than the studio version.
Yeah, I mean the songs we talked about.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
So, in my opinion, it's not a particularly interesting album. It's cool that they released it. I want more. It's like the platonic ideal of what a Fishman's live set should be. Just like,
Yeah.
here's all the music.
Without long season.
They play, you know, and just the variety. Like, this is really like funk rock Fishmans or like funky Fishmans, but they also have some like quieter shit. They have some dubby shit. Like, it's a good encapsulation of like everything they do.
If you're gonna take anything away from this episode and the album, it is a very, very good Fishman's live set.
I would
It
give
is
it-
like it is closest to what you would get to like at a Fishman's live show.
Yeah.
Without long season, remember that. But like you said, platonic ideal of a Fishman's live set, and that's what I really
As-
appreciate.
An album, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. As like a show, I would give it like a 10 out of 10. It's perfect.
I would give it a 9 out of 10 as an album, but I would also give it a 10 out of 10 as a live show.
Nice. It's great.
I think I think the main reason it like bumps like from an 8 to a 9 is I don't know if like well, I guess the video would include that, but banter.
Oh, yeah, that's
Shinji's
in the
energy.
video, yeah.
But
That's so cool.
either way, fantastic regardless.
So that's happening. Go check it out. I know there's the 3 singles on Spotify. Obviously, you can go watch the video, and it's 2005 quality, maybe not remastered, on YouTube. And then if you want to find it online, there are ways to find the new version. Or you can acquire your CD from Japan. I mean, they're selling a ton. Saw photos on Twitter at like Tower Records and stuff of just huge like cases of the CD. So there should be ways to get it soon. But I would definitely check it out if you like Fishmans. And yeah, keep an eye out on the movie. I'm not sure when it will find its way online, but we're really excited. This episode was originally supposed to be a kind of career overview of Fishmans Plus, going through all their music, but we did not have time. I am currently in the process of moving to Illinois from Arizona, so there's
I'm
a
in
lot
the
going on.
process of not that, but I'm still pretty busy in my own.
So, you know, that episode's
regard.
still coming out, Fishmans Plus. We're going to find some time to listen to all that soon, because that's very new for us, and also hopefully watch the movie. But yeah, we are still making the podcast, and this album seemed important enough to talk about briefly.
To bring us out of our slimy little caves in which we've been dwelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, stay fishy. Tell us in the comments or wherever. I don't know where you're listening to this shit. But tell us if you like this album. Maybe we're wrong. I saw some people online saying that this is the best Fishmans live album. I could see why people would say that maybe. If this is the kind of Fishmans that you like.
If there's, I mean, I would never go against somebody's saying that any Fishman's live album is their favorite, because like I get it. So, if this is your favorite, it's your favorite, and that's awesome. It's not mine though, that's for sure.
What if somebody said that O Mountain was their favorite? Would you be okay with that?
I'd be okay. Yeah, I don't. First off, I'm okay because they're not me. They can like whatever albums they want. And second, yeah, because it's an awesome album.
Yeah, okay. You're valid if you think that opinion.
Thanks for the patronizing sentiment.
All right, we're going to end it on that patronizing sentiment.
Stay fishy.
Stay
y'all.
fishy.
Thank you.